Okay, previously um, we had discussed about buying versus building your own house, and we came to a conclusion that building is better. We saw that pros of building are more compared to the pros of buying. So because of that, we narrowed down, and it's about building, and we are building with interlocking blocks. So it becomes self-driven project. We spoke about why it is not advisable, or the cons of using a contractors, and we decided that it's better to use a project manager, or a four-person instead of a contractor. So we are on the next stage where we talk about the actual planning of the construction, and I normally have a written what do I call it, something written down, that a written guidance actually, which I always give people who come to me, and they have decided that they want to build their own house to construct, and it goes like this: don't rush into construction of a house. Building is the easiest part, very easy. The real work is inadequate preparation. You know, you have to prepare properly. Allow yourself at least a couple of months to plan for your building project. This entails having all the right paperwork for your land, understand the environmental impact your structure will have, drawing a design that will not only be pleasant to look at, but also functional in the way that it will eliminate extra costs like air conditioning, which invariably push the cost of the project high. Remember, it's an affordable construction, it's a self-driven project, so you don't want to have the cost high. We're trying to reduce the cost but maintain the standards and the quality of the project and the building ethics too. Allow time for surveyor to get the contour plan of your land and determine the drainage factors. So a surveyor should come and check your land. Other natural factors like the sun path from rising to setting, the wind direction, etc. are crucial while setting out the house and placing windows and doors. I am in touch, or our team has a very affordable architecture, and he can do site visits to your site after he has already drawn and designed the plan of the house that you want, and he is professional but very, very affordable. Remember, it's about affordable construction, availing affordable housing to the lay person. Once you have a design ready, have a competent cost engineer work out cost to estimate for the house. This is what I refer to as bill of quantity. So we also have in our team a competent engineer who can come up with the cost which we refer to as bill of quantity. The bill of quantity will have an error of between 50 to 20% of the project cost. It is like a recipe. When you're cooking, it will give you all the requirements, all the materials, like all the ingredients that you need for your project, for the construction project. Like maybe you need 20 bags of cement, you need how many tons of soil, suitable soil to make the interlocking blocks, water, you know, and also the cost of the artisans and the masons, all that. The bill of quantity will include that. So when we reach at that point of buying material, there are certain things that you should know once you get the bill of quantity about buying the material. Yeah. After you get the bill of quantity, go through your bill of quantity properly and look into your plan and design and compare them. You can again review it and reduce some things. At this point, you will discuss with the engineer who did the bill of quantity for you and the architect, so that everything in the project fits your pocket. Yeah. Review it together. You may need to rectify the design to reduce the expenses to be within your budget or pocket friendly. Get a BOQ for your second design as well. Agree on work plan to when it starts and completion estimate. Remember, you're just estimating, so you're giving yourself the errors. Their errors. I like it to be between 20 to 15%. When this is done, start to include the experts. Yeah. You will need a project manager, which I'll recommend. I never recommend contractors. The contractor isn't necessary in a self-driven project. Remember, a self-driven project, it's your project. While the project manager ensures that the work is done according to design, cost, and agreement timelines. Yeah. It's always good to sign a legal contract with all the parties involved in the project management, the foreperson and the artisans. It's just good to sign something binding and legal. Yeah, it's advisable, very advisable. Always have some spare funds for unforeseen circumstances of your project, you know, for a rainy day or if things change. And by the way, remember that the bill of quantity is normally for that financial year, because things can change, prices can change. So you cannot have a bill of quantity made in 2012 and you want to build in 2014. It might not be valid. Actually, it won't be valid, because those are two financial years that have lapsed. So there'll be changes. But with proper planning, they can be reduced, you know. Yeah. So take your time, plan like your life depends on it, because it does. Don't let your money go to waste by rushing into a project. Remember that this is your home, this is your house that you're trying to construct. You're trying to construct it affordably, within a good budget, but you also want it to be durable. You want it to be beautiful. This is where you're going to spend your life with your children and maybe more generations to come. So that is about planning, just planning before you start the project. Next topic, I will talk about buying of the material. Oh, thank you very much.